stop spending time negotiating with yourself. I used to do this, and I used to spend an unwarranted amount of time negotiating with myself to either do or not to do. It's a waste of time, first off. We sometimes find ourselves in this situation or this position where there's something we know we're supposed to do. We know there's something that we need to do, but we question it because we don't want to. We place the want over the need. Don't allow yourself the option. Don't allow yourself the option to negotiate with yourself. Because every decision we make compounds over time, just like compounding interest in financial investments. I recorded an episode about this a few weeks ago, the power of decision. And I believe that we go through our day, in any given day, where we are faced with and presented with the opportunity to make all these different decisions. And at face value, they don't seem significant or valuable in any way. But the reality is they all are. Every decision we have to make is meaningful, and it leads to where we end up one day. The small, the big, the hard, the easy. And I truly do believe that. Every decision should be weighed more heavily than we probably do weigh it right now in this given time. Because decisions compound over time. It's like a snowball effect. When you make more of the right decisions that are driven with intentionality and clarity, that compounds and grows and grows and grows. If you make more wrong decisions or bad decisions than good decisions, that also compounds, but in the opposite direction, where you lose progress and it sends you into failure and mistake and an unfortunate circumstance and situation. But then if you find yourself in a place where you're making equally good decisions as bad decisions, you just maintain the status quo. You don't really digress or improve. You're just there, doing exactly what you're doing previously or what you're doing right now. I believe that the decisions you make earlier on in the day, that sets the foundation for the rest of your day. That's one of the reasons that I run every single morning, regardless if I want to or not. And a practice that you can implement to hold yourself accountable to this, to stop negotiating with yourself, is to write down what you're going to do the next day, the night or day prior, and commit to honoring your commitments the next day. I love that word, honor. Honor your commitments. Like if today is Monday and there's things that you know you're supposed to do tomorrow, and today, the day prior, it's really easy to say, well, I'm going to do these things tomorrow. But then when you wake up Tuesday morning and now that thing is in front of you that you know you are supposed to do, it's really easy to say, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to push it back one day or the next day. So practice on Monday or Sunday or Saturday or whatever day it is, write down on a piece of paper or in your phone, here's the things I'm going to accomplish and do tomorrow. These are my commitments. And come the next day, I am now going to commit to honoring these commitments. It's a great way to just hold yourself accountable. Again, what needs to be done compared to what you want to do. Don't allow yourself to negotiate with yourself. Stop spending time negotiating with yourself of what you want to do or should do, but don't want to do. So here's an example. I have a few examples actually. Last week, being week 2 into Ironman prep, every Wednesday morning I have my speed workouts, my running speed workouts. And that rotates every other week between a tempo workout. So an example of that would be this week. It's 10 miles total of volume. It is a 2-mile warm-up. It is 6 1-mile repeats with 2 minutes of rest in between each, and then 2-mile cool down. So it's 10 miles total volume. So it rotates between tempo and track being critical velocity. This week is tempo. Last week was critical velocity. So I woke up Wednesday morning being about 10 days into Ironman prep, and I woke up sore. I woke up fatigued, just getting back into triathlon prep, managing about 60 miles of running a week. I think last week on the bike, I rode 130 miles and then multiple swims a week. That fatigue just starts to compound and you really start to feel it. The deeper we get into prep, my body will acclimate to that volume and that training stimulus, and it'll become more efficient at recovering appropriately. But right now, being so early into it, I am feeling the fatigue. I am feeling the beat down. Truly. Last Wednesday morning, I woke up sore and tired. The last thing I wanted to do was the workout I had scheduled that day. I had 10 800-meter repeats. Now, one of the things that I do to hold myself accountable the day prior to a big speed workout is I will go into my Garmin app and I will input the workout for that next day. So when I pull up my watch the morning of that next day's run and I go to start a new workout, it'll show me the workout that is scheduled and programmed for that morning. So it's really hard for me to bypass that, especially once I start it. Like I literally in my Garmin app will program 2.5 mile warm up, 10 times 800-meter repeat with 60 seconds rest in between, 2.5 mile cool down, and the watch will walk me through the workout. I can't exit it. I have to go through it. That's one way that I hold myself accountable. But when I woke up Wednesday, the last thing I want to do, like I said, was 10 800-meter repeats. I knew my legs were going to be heavy. I knew I was going to be carrying fatigue. I knew I was going to be tired. And I started to negotiate with myself. There I was Wednesday morning, just ate my Go Bar, just consumed my 2 scoops of G1M Sport. And I was sitting there in the kitchen negotiating with myself. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I am sore. I am tired. Maybe I'll just push this workout to tomorrow, being Thursday. Or maybe I'll push it to Friday. But then as I started thinking, well, I already have my training scheduled for Thursday. I already have my training scheduled for Friday. I have these meetings that I have to work around. And if I push it back a day, it's getting closer to my Saturday long run, which will affect my long run performance Saturday. Well, maybe I can move my long run Saturday to Sunday to give myself some more time. I started going through all of these negotiating tactics with myself for why I shouldn't do the workout that morning. The one that I had scheduled, the one that I had programmed into my watch, the one that I had into my Training Peaks training program. And I was thinking of every way possible to not do this workout. And then it just hit me. What am I doing? I'm wasting time. Why am I spending all this time negotiating with myself of why I shouldn't do what I know I need to do? Because I want a morning of comfort and ease, and I don't want to feel the pain. I don't want to feel the discomfort. That's probably exactly what I need. I need to lean in, stop negotiating with myself, stop making excuses, and just do what I said I was going to do. I wasted 5 to 10 minutes that morning that I could have spent doing something else or working on something else. I wasted 5 to 10 minutes trying to negotiate with myself of why I shouldn't, why I couldn't, and how I can make it work. I wasn't willing to honor my commitment initially until I realized what I was doing. I was negotiating with myself. So I decided to honor my commitment. I went out in the garage, put my shoes on, still didn't want to do the workout, started my watch, and just did it. Just didn't give myself the option to negotiate with what I said I was going to do. Another example of that, I was in my my long run this past weekend. It was a 15-mile run. And in that run, I was just thinking about how powerful the mind was or is. The only reason we're talking about excuses in this context, it's not because of physical inability. It's because of emotional and mental inability or instability. It's a mind warfare as opposed to a physical warfare. And I was midway through that run. I was 8 miles into my 15-mile run. And I was thinking in the middle of that, I could just stop right now if I wanted. 8 miles is a solid run. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to finish the 15 miles because I said I was going to finish the 15 miles. I fueled up and I started that morning knowing I was going to run 15 miles. But it's so easy that when you're in it, you can just stop if you want. If you truly want. The mind is that powerful, or should I say unpowerful, where we can decide to stop midway through if we really wanted to. And so many people do. So many people quit midway through. I believe it's much easier, or should I say it's much harder to get started than it is to keep going. That 800-meter workout that I did that week, last week, it was much harder to get started. But once I got started, there was no option, there was no thought of stopping midway through. Sometimes you just have to stop negotiating with yourself to get started. And once you get started, hold that momentum. One of my favorite quotes that I heard from Chad Wright is he said, "Don't quit in the chair. Don't quit in the middle. Quit because," and this was in context of an ultramarathon. When you are running an ultramarathon, you come in to a checkpoint, you sit down in the chair to get some food, to recover for a few minutes, to change out your shoes. That's a rest, that's a reset. Don't allow yourself to quit in that moment. Don't quit in the middle. Quit when it's done. Quit when you finish. Quit when your body forces you to stop. But don't let your mind win. Don't quit in the chair. Finish once you cross that line, when you finish that workout, when you said, or when you do what you said you were going to do. Stop spending time negotiating with yourself.